Stop wasting your time. How to get more done in less time. Written and published by Audiobook Mindset. Introduction. Every minute that passes is a piece of your life you'll never get back. Time is the one currency you can't earn more off yet. Most people spend it carelessly, as if tomorrow is guaranteed. The truth is, you're not overwhelmed because life is too full. You're overwhelmed because your focus is too scattered. You're not out of time, you're leaking it. Most people are busy, but not productive. They confuse movement with progress. They wake up tired, go to bed frustrated, and wonder why nothing feels fulfilling. But the problem isn't time eats attention. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. This isn't about working harder or hustling longer. It's about choosing with clarity, acting with purpose, and protecting your attention like your future depends on it, because it does. In this video, you'll learn the mindset and methods to cut through distractions, reclaim your hours, and finally get more done in less time with less stress. Chapter 1. Identify your time thieves and eliminate them. Time isn't always taken from you in obvious ways. It often slips away silently, in small, unnoticed leaks. Think about it. How many times have you picked up your phone just to check one message, only to look up and realize 30 minutes have vanished? These moments seem harmless, but they add up to hours, days, even weeks lost every year. This is how time gets stolen bit by bit through distractions that feel normal but are deeply destructive. We often imagine time wasters as big events like a whole day lost watching TV or a long meeting that went nowhere. But in reality, most of your time is lost in small, invisible ways. Social media scrolling, checking notifications every few minutes, aimless web browsing, unnecessary conversations, or saying yes to things that don't align with your goals. These are your time thieves, the habits, people, and behaviors that quietly drain your focus and energy without giving anything meaningful in return. To fight back, you must become conscious. Begin by tracking your day. Write down what you do every hour for a few days. You'll be surprised how much of your time is spent on things that bring no value to your growth or well-being. Ask yourself, who or what takes my attention the most? Is this action helping me move forward or keeping me stuck? Is it necessary or just noise? For example, if you spend your mornings checking your phone before getting out of bed, you're starting your day on someone else's terms. If you keep replying to every message the moment it arrives, you're training your brain to be reactive instead of focused. If you say yes to every invitation, task, or request, you're letting others control your calendar. You must become ruthless about protecting your attention, create boundaries around your time, mute unnecessary notifications, limit your time on social media. Politely distance yourself from people who constantly interrupt your focus with negativity or distractions. Set clear intentions each day so you're not just reacting to life, but directing it. Time thieves thrive in chaos and unconsciousness. The moment you bring awareness to them, they lose their power. And when you eliminate them one by one, you'll begin to notice something powerful. You're not as busy as you thought. You just had too many silent distractions stealing the moments that could have built your dreams. Reclaim your time, protect it fiercely, because once it's gone, you don't get it back. Chapter 2. The 80-20 Rule. Do less, achieve more. Not everything you do is equally important. In fact, most of what fills your day doesn't really move your life forward. That's the harsh truth, and that's where the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, becomes your secret weapon. It says that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. That means only a small portion of what you do each day is actually responsible for most of your progress, success, or achievement. The rest, it's just filler. It feels like work, but it doesn't change your life. Imagine this. You have a long to-do list with 15 tasks. You complete all of them, but by the end of the week, nothing feels significantly better. Why? Because those tasks were shallow. They kept you busy, but not productive. Now imagine if you had focused only on the 2 or 3 tasks that directly impacted your goals, like launching your business, improving your health, deepening your skills, or creating something valuable. That's the power of focus, guided by the 80-20 rule. This rule invites you to pause and ask, what are the few things I do that bring the biggest results? Is it writing, creating, networking, learning? Once you identify your top-performing actions, you should double down on them. Spend more energy on what brings results and ruthlessly minimize, delegate, or delete the rest. Most people live in the illusion that doing more means achieving more. But true growth happens when you simplify your focus. Think about successful people. They aren't juggling 50 priorities. They've mastered saying no to distractions so they can say yes to what actually matters. They invest their time in high-impact activities, not low-value busyness. Let's say you're building a business. The high-impact 20% might include creating new products, connecting with customers, and improving your marketing. But if you spend most of your time tweaking your website colors, checking analytics 10 times a day, or organizing files, you're living in the 80% zone. Active, but not effective. The same applies to your personal life. If your goal is health, then preparing meals, exercising, and sleeping well are in the 20%. Obsessing over supplements or buying fancy gym clothes might feel like effort, but it's not the kind of effort that transforms your body or your life. Once you know your 20%, schedule it first. Make those few, vital actions the non-negotiables of your day. Treat them like sacred appointments because they're the ones that will actually create change. Stop wasting your energy on doing everything. Start doing the right things. Efficiency is not about doing more in less time. It's about doing what matters most and letting go of the rest without guilt. When you live by the 80-20 rule, you begin to notice something powerful. Your progress speeds up, your stress goes down, and your life finally starts to feel aligned with your purpose. Chapter 3. Master the power of time blocking. If you don't schedule your time, someone else will. That's not just a quote, it's a warning. The world is filled with distractions trying to hijack your attention. Emails, messages, meetings, notifications, and endless demands. If your calendar is blank, you're giving your time away to whatever feels urgent in the moment. That's where time blocking becomes a game changer. Time blocking means assigning a specific block of time to one focused task and nothing else. It's not just about writing down a to-do list, it's about creating structure and commitment. Instead of saying, I'll work on this later, you say, from 9 to 11 a.m. I will write my book. From 2 to 3 p.m. I will exercise. From 5 to 6 p.m. I'll review finances. That's clarity. That's control. Why does this work so well? Because your brain loves boundaries. When it knows what to focus on and when, it stops wasting energy bouncing between tasks. You eliminate decision fatigue. You enter what's called deep worker mental state of full concentration, where you produce your best work in less time. And in today's world of constant distraction, deep work is your biggest advantage. Let's be honest, most people don't lack time. They lack intention. They spend their day reacting instead of directing. They check their phone when they should be reading. They answer emails when they should be creating. They multitask all day and wonder why they feel scattered and unproductive. Time blocking fixes this by protecting your focus like a wall around your mental energy. Start by blocking your most important tasks during your peak energy hours. For many people, that's the morning. Don't waste those golden hours scrolling social media or responding to low-priority messages. Use them for creative, strategic, and high-impact work. Then block time for breaks, meals, exercise, and even rest. Yes, schedule your rest. Because rest isn't a reward for productivity, it's fuel for it. Time blocking also helps you become aware of how long things actually take. You may think a task needs an hour, but when blocked properly, it might only need 25 minutes. That creates room, space, breathing time. And when you have space in your schedule, you think better, you perform better, you feel better. To succeed with time blocking, treat your calendar like a commitment, not a suggestion. Don't just fill it, honor it. If something urgent comes up, shift the block button, never erase it. Because if your goals don't have a time slot, they'll always get pushed aside by other people's emergencies. The most successful people in the world, from CEOs to athletes, leave their day to chance. They live by the clock they design, not the chaos the world throws at them. Time blocking is how you move from reactive to proactive. It's how you create momentum that compounds, day after day. Remember, the secret to mastering your life is mastering your day, and the secret to mastering your day is owning your time block by block. Chapter 4. Stop multitasking. It's killing your productivity. Multitasking is one of the biggest lies we've been sold. The world tells you to do it all, to juggle multiple things at once, like it's a skill worth mastering. But here's the truth. Your brain is not designed to multitask. What feels like multitasking is actually your brain switching rapidly between tasks, and every time it switches, it loses speed, focus, and energy. You don't become more productive. You become more scattered. Let's break this down. Imagine you're writing a report while checking your phone every few minutes. Each time you glance at that screen, your brain has to pause, shift its focus, absorb new information, and then return to the original task. That mental shifting burns cognitive fuel and weakens your performance. What could have taken you 30 minutes with full focus now takes an hour and leaves you mentally exhausted. Multitasking doesn't just waste time. It increases your mistakes, drains your creativity, and makes you feel anxious and overwhelmed. Your attention is your most powerful tool, and every time you split it, you're dulling its edge. That's why you often finish the day feeling tired but strangely unaccomplished, because you were busy, not effective. You were active, not impactful. Single tasking, focusing on one thing at a time, isn't old-fashioned. It's elite. It's how high performers operate. Whether it's athletes training, artists creating, or entrepreneurs building companies, the most successful people understand that full presence equals full power. When you give your full attention to one task, you enter a mental state called flow, a zone where time fades, distractions vanish, and your best work emerges. Here's the good news. Anyone can reclaim this kind of focus. It starts with awareness. Catch yourself when you're multitasking. Notice when you're answering emails during meetings, scrolling while eating, or jumping between tabs while trying to think. Don't judge it, just observe it. Then, begin retraining your brain to focus deeply. Create an environment that supports single tasking. Close unnecessary tabs. Silence notifications. Use full screen mode for your work. Put your phone in another room if you must. Then choose one task and only one, and set a timer. Work on that task with full focus for 25 to 50 minutes. This is the Pomodoro technique, a proven method to boost concentration and prevent burnout. After each session, take a short break. You'll find that not only do you get more done, but the quality of your work improves and you'll feel mentally lighter. You must also stop glorifying busyness. Busyness is not a badge of honor. Productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, with presence and excellence. When you multitask, you cheat yourself out of both. You rob yourself of your own potential. Think of your mind like a spotlight. The wider it spreads, the dimmer it becomes. But when you narrow the beam, it becomes piercing and powerful. That's what deep focus feels like, and it's what multitasking takes away from you. Reclaim your attention. Build the habit of doing one thing well, not many things poorly. Because in a world where everyone's attention is fragmented, your ability to focus is not just rare, it's unstoppable. Chapter 5. Learn to say no without guilt. One of the greatest time wasters in your life isn't your phone or social media, it's your inability to say no. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, your values, or your priorities, you're saying no to yourself. You're sacrificing your time, your energy, and your future to please someone else in the moment. And the cost of that silent surrender, it adds up over days, weeks, years, until your dreams become distant and your life feels like it belongs to everyone but you. Let's be clear, you are not a bad person for saying no. You're not selfish. You're not rude. You're simply honoring your time, your boundaries, and your vision. People often guilt you into thinking that being available equals being kind, but kindness doesn't mean self-sacrifice. True kindness begins with honesty. And sometimes, honesty means having the courage to say, I can't, not right now. That's not aligned with my priorities. The reason many people struggle to say no is fear. Fear of being judged, fear of disappointing others, fear of being left out. But here's what you must realize. Every time you say yes just to avoid discomfort, you're betraying yourself. You're placing someone else's short-term comfort above your long-term growth. And the more you do this, the more your life gets filled with obligations that drain you, leaving little space for what truly matters. Look at your current schedule. How much of it was built by your own desires and goals, and how much of it was shaped by other people's expectations? Saying yes to every invitation, request, and favor may win you temporary approval, but it will cost you your clarity. It will rob you of deep work, personal progress, and peace of mind. Saying no doesn't always mean rejection. It means redirection. It means protecting your energy so that when you do show up for something, you're fully present. It means choosing quality over quantity in your commitments. And it means finally putting your dreams back at the center of your calendar. To practice saying no, start with simple phrases. You don't have to explain every detail or make excuses. You can say, I appreciate you asking, but I can't commit right now. That doesn't fit into my schedule this week. Thank you, but I'm focusing on something else at the moment. You're not obligated to justify your boundaries. A clear and respectful no is enough. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll notice something amazing. The people who respect you will accept your boundaries, and the ones who don't were only there for what they could take from you. Also, remember this, every yes carries a hidden cost. When you agree to attend an event you didn't want to go to, that's time you could have spent building your skill, working on your health, or resting your mind. When you accept a task you don't have energy for, that's energy you steal from your highest priorities. The currency of your life is time and attention. Spend it with care. This doesn't mean you shut everyone out. It means you become intentional about who and what you say yes to. When your yes is genuine, when it comes from alignment, not pressure, it's powerful. But when it's forced, it breeds resentment, fatigue, and regret. So, train yourself to pause before responding. Ask, does this serve my purpose? Will this bring me peace or progress? Or is this another distraction in disguise? When you lead with clarity, your no becomes a tool of self-respect, not rejection. The people who achieve meaningful success aren't the ones who did everything. They're the ones who did the right things because they had the courage to say no to the wrong ones. And if you want to build a life that's yours, you have to stop trying to live in everyone else's. Chapter 6. Use the 2-minute rule to beat procrastination. Procrastination doesn't show up loudly. It whispers. It tells you, you can do it later, or "You're not in the mood right now." It tricks you into believing that delay is harmless. But here's the truth. Procrastination is the silent killer of dreams. It doesn't just steal your time, it steals your confidence. Every time you avoid doing something, you reinforce a belief that you can't handle it. Over time, that belief grows into a habit. And before you know it, your life is full of half-finished plans and forgotten intentions. But what if breaking procrastination didn't require a huge mindset shift or hours of motivation? What if the answer was small, so small, it only took 2 minutes? That's the power of the 2-minute rule. It's simple. If something takes less than 2 minutes to do it immediately. Don't schedule it. Don't overthink it. Don't delay it. Just get it done. Think about it. Replying to an email, making your bed, sending a message, tidying your desk, taking out the trash, drinking a glass of water. These are all things that take less than 2 minutes. But when ignored, they pile up and create a mental fog. Your mind becomes cluttered with tiny tasks you keep putting off, and that clutter drains your energy more than you realize. When you apply the 2-minute rule consistently, you create momentum. And momentum is the enemy of procrastination. It's easier to keep moving once you've started. One small task leads to another, and before you know it, you're in motion. The secret to doing big things is often hidden in just starting with a small one. But the 2-minute rule goes even deeper. You can also use it as a way to initiate larger tasks. For example, writing a book may feel overwhelming, but sitting down to write for just 2 minutes, that feels doable. Once you begin, you'll often keep going. The hardest part of any task is the beginning, and the 2-minute rule removes that resistance. This method also builds trust with yourself. When you stop delaying and start completing even the smallest tasks, you begin to rewire your brain. You start proving to yourself that you're someone who takes action, and that self-trust builds confidence. Confidence builds consistency, and consistency leads to lasting change. Let's be clear, this rule isn't just about productivity, it's about building character. It's about refusing to let your life be ruled by delay. Every time you act instead of postpone, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. A person of action, a person of clarity, a person who gets things done. If your life feels stuck, don't wait for a perfect day or a huge breakthrough. Don't wait for motivation to magically appear. Start small. Start now. Start with 2 minutes. Clean your space. Make the call. Open the book. Move your body. Take the first step, however tiny it seems, because movement beats perfection. Action beats overthinking. So the next time you hear that little voice say, "You can do it later," answer back, "If it takes 2 minutes, I'll do it now." That small decision, repeated over time, will transform not just your schedule but your self-image, your discipline, and your entire direction in life. Chapter 7. Create a daily shutdown ritual to reclaim control. Most people start their day with chaos and end it in exhaustion. They work through the day reacting to problems, scrambling to finish tasks, constantly checking emails and messages, and then crash into bed without a sense of completion. Their minds are still racing, even when their bodies are tired. They scroll endlessly at night, hoping for relaxation, but all they find is more noise. Then they wake up the next day and repeat the cycle, tired, unfocused, and already behind. But what if the secret to a focused, productive tomorrow isn't found in the morning but the night before? This is where the power of a daily shutdown ritual comes in. It's not a luxury, it's a disciplineer moment of intentional closure where you reclaim control, reflect, reset, and prepare your mind for rest. It's the difference between finishing your day on autopilot and ending it like a professional. A shutdown ritual is simple in theory but profound in impact. It's a structured way to close your mental tabs, just like you'd shut down your computer to let it rest and reboot. When you do this, your brain knows the day is done, the loop is closed, and now it's time to recharge. So what does a powerful shutdown ritual look like? It begins with reviewing your day. Ask yourself, what did I accomplish today? What didn't get done, and why? What did I learn? Don't judge yourself, just become aware. Awareness is the first step to improvement. When you reflect daily, your growth compounds. You start seeing patterns in your habits, your energy, and your results. Next, plan tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. This step is crucial. Write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. Don't make a giant to-do list. Choose the tasks that will truly move you forward. When you wake up already knowing your purpose, you eliminate the morning confusion that steals your momentum. You don't start your day in reaction, you start with intention. After that, shut down your work environment. Close your laptop. Put away your notes. Clean your workspace, even if it's just for a few minutes. A clear physical space sends a signal to your brain that the workday is over and that it's safe to unwind. Then, disconnect from the digital noise. Don't let your phone be the last thing you look at before bed. Don't fall asleep with the world's noise echoing in your mind. Instead, create a ritual of calm. Read something inspiring. Reflect in a journal. Sit in silence. Talk to Allah. Pray, or simply breathe deeply and let the weight of the day go. You deserve stillness. You need it. Why does all of this matter? Because how you end your day determines how you begin the next one. When you shut down with intention, your mind rests easier, your sleep becomes deeper, your energy restores, and you wake up with a sense of readiness, not regret. Most people never feel in control of their time because they never claim the end of their day. Their minds remain open like browsers with 50 tabs. They never give themselves closure, so they carry unfinished thoughts, tasks, and anxieties into the next day. Over time, this leads to burnout, forgetfulness, and the constant feeling of falling behind. But when you create a shutdown ritual, you install a boundary between work and rest, between noise and peace, between doing and being. It's a simple practice, but it has the power to change everything. Because true productivity isn't about doing more. It's about being in control of your focus, your energy, and your choices. And the one who ends their day with clarity always begins the next one with purpose. Chapter 8. Build a system, not just motivation. Motivation feels good, but it's unreliable. It comes in waves. One day you're fired up, ready to conquer everything. The next, you feel tired, distracted, uninspired. That's because motivation is an emotion. It rises and falls based on how you feel, what happened during the day, who you talk to, or even the weather. And if your success depends on your mood, then your progress will always be fragile. The truth is, the most successful people in the world don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. They've built habits and routines that support their goals, even when they don't feel like it. They've designed their environment to make doing the right thing easier. They've created structures that carry them forward when their energy is low and their willpower is weak. Let's make this simple. A system is a repeatable process. It's the way you organize your life to make progress automatic. It's how you remove decision fatigue and turn discipline into your default. For example, instead of saying, "I'll try to wake up early," a system is, "I sleep at 10 p.m. and my alarm is across the room at 5:30 a.m. Instead of saying, "I need to eat healthier," a system is, "Every Sunday I prep my meals and I keep junk food out of the house." Instead of saying, "I want to write more," a system is, "Every morning from 6-7 a.m. I write, no matter what." Why does this matter? Because your results don't come from what you do occasionally, they come from what you do consistently. And consistency doesn't come from feeling inspired. It comes from building a rhythm that runs even when you're not in the mood. Systems also help you avoid burnout. When you depend on motivation, you tend to go hard for a few days, then crash. You push yourself without rest, then feel guilty when you stop. But a well-designed system includes balance. It builds in rest, review, reflection. It's not about hustle, it's about sustainability. Think of it this way. Your life is like a garden. If you wait for motivation to water the plants, they'll die. But if you install a system, a drip irrigation line that delivers water every day, the garden flourishes. Even when you're busy or tired, systems protect your vision. They create structure so your goals survive the chaos of life. You must also build systems for your mental focus. For example, start your day with a routine that grounds you: meditation, journaling, prayer. Schedule deep work blocks and protect them with silence. Review your progress every week and adjust what isn't working. Use tools, planners, calendars, reminders to keep your mind clear. Even how you manage distractions should become a system. Silence notifications during focus hours. Use apps that block social media. Set fixed times to check messages. Make it harder to fail and easier to succeed. But the key is simplicity. Don't try to build a perfect system overnight. Start small. Choose one area like sleep, fitness, work, or learning, and design a daily process you can repeat. Once it becomes a habit, expand to other parts of your life. Systems compound. They evolve. And over time, they turn you into a person who doesn't need to try, because it's just who you've become. Motivation will get you started, but it's your system that carries you when life gets hard, when you're exhausted, or when doubt creeps in. That's when most people quit. But not if your life is built on structure, not moods. So stop chasing motivation like it's the answer. Build systems, build discipline, build a life that moves forward even when you don't feel like moving. Chapter 9. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. You can't get more hours in a day, but you can lose your energy in 1,000 ways. And once it's gone, no time management strategy in the world will help you. That's the part most people miss. They try to fix their schedules, to-do lists, and productivity apps while completely ignoring the one thing that fuels it all: energy. Time is how we measure our day, but energy is what gives it power. Without energy, time is useless. You can have a free hour, but if you're mentally drained, emotionally overwhelmed, or spiritually disconnected, you won't use that hour for anything meaningful. That's why protecting your energy is not a luxury. It's survival, it's success. Energy is drained in more ways than we realize. It's not just the tasks on your calendar, it's the people you talk to, the thoughts you allow, the content you consume, the environment you live in. Every interaction, every distraction, every worry, every decision takes something from you. If you're not aware, you'll spend your whole day bleeding energy on things that don't matter, and then wonder why you feel stuck. So how do you protect it? How do you build a life where your energy is not just preserved, but optimized? It starts with awareness. Begin to notice what lifts you up and what wears you down. Not everything that feels urgent deserves your attention. Not everyone who wants your energy should get it. You must become ruthless with your internal boundaries. The moment you feel your peace being disturbed, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If the answer is no, walk away, let it go. You do not owe your reaction to everything that happens around you. You also need to protect your energy from the biggest thief of all, your own mind, the overthinking, the imaginary arguments, the self-doubt, the fear of what others think. These thoughts are like parasites. They feed on your energy and leave you depleted, even if nothing happened on the outside. Just a few hours of negative thinking can drain you more than a full day of physical labor. That's how powerful the mind is. That's why mastering your mental space is non-negotiable. Practice quiet. Sit with your thoughts. Observe them without reacting. Meditation, prayer, or simply 10 minutes of stillness every morning can create a shield around your energy. Don't underestimate the power of silence. In a noisy world, silence is strength. Stillness is clarity, and clarity is energy. Next, protect your physical energy. Your body is not a machine, it's a living system. If you feed it junk, deprive it of sleep, or never let it rest, it will shut down. No productivity hacks can fix a body running on empty. So sleep like it's sacred. Move your body daily, even a short walk can reset your nervous system. Drink water, eat real food, breathe deeply. Your energy doesn't come from coffee or adrenaline. It comes from rhythm. Respect your body's natural cycles and build your schedule around them. Then there's emotional energy, perhaps the most ignored and misunderstood. Emotional energy is what helps you stay compassionate, patient, creative, and resilient. But every unresolved feeling, every unspoken frustration, every boundary you're afraid to set, it's draining you. Learn to process, not suppress. Talk it out, write it out, let it out. Because if you don't deal with what's stealing your emotional energy, you'll end up resenting the very life you're trying to build. And finally, the deepest source of energy: spiritual alignment. When your life is connected to purpose, when you live with intention, something shifts. You stop chasing things that don't belong to you. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who don't matter. You stop burning energy just to fit in. Instead, you walk lighter, you speak softer, you do what matters and let go of what doesn't. Your soul becomes your compass, and that is the most powerful energy source there is. So ask yourself, who gets the best of my energy? What drains me but gives me nothing in return? What do I keep doing out of guilt, fear, or habit, even though it leaves me empty? Start saying no, not just to tasks, but to anything that disrespects your energy. Let your life be shaped by alignment, not obligation. And remember, productivity isn't about squeezing every drop out of your day. It's about using your energy in a way that reflects your highest values. When your energy is protected, your mind becomes clear, your actions become sharp, your presence becomes powerful, and you stop living in survival mode. You start living on purpose. Because at the end of the day, it's not how busy you were, it's not how many things you checked off a list. It's whether your time, your effort, and your soul were all working in the same direction. Protect that. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Chapter 10. Design your environment to support your focus. Willpower is important, but it's not enough. Even the most disciplined person in the world will eventually get tired, distracted, or overwhelmed if their environment constantly works against them. That's why, if you truly want to stop wasting time and get more done in less time, you can't rely on motivation alone. You must design an environment that automatically supports your focus, your energy, and your goal 7 when you're not feeling strong. Because the truth is, you are a product of your environment. Your surroundings shape your behavior more than you realize. If your phone is always within reach, you'll check it. If junk food is in the kitchen, you'll eat it. If your workspace is messy and chaotic, your mind will be too. And if you're constantly surrounded by noise, interruptions, or people who drain you, you'll never have the clarity or calm needed for deep focus. This is why high performers don't just manage their time, they architect their environment. They set up their spaces, routines, and tools in ways that make focus easy and distraction difficult. Let's break this down. First, look at your physical space. Is your environment helping you stay focused, making you constantly switch tasks? Clear your workspace. Remove clutter. Keep only what you need in front of you. A clean desk leads to a cleaner mind. Your brain has limited processing power, and every item in your visual field takes up mental space. The more you remove, the more you can concentrate. Then, design zones for your activities. If you work, relax, eat, and scroll your phone all in the same place, your brain gets confused. It no longer knows what that space is for. But when you create physical boundaries, this corner is for work, that chair is for reading, this table is for eating, you create mental boundaries too. Your mind associates each space with a specific intention, and focus becomes automatic. Now look at your digital environment. This is where most people lose control. If your desktop is full of icons, your browser has 20 tabs open, and your phone buzzes every 30 seconds, you're training your brain to live in chaos. It's like trying to meditate in the middle of a street festival. You need to take control. Start by simplifying. Organize your files. Keep your workspace minimal. Use apps that block distracting websites during your focus hours. Turn off non-essential notifications. Better yet, put your phone in another room while working. You don't need to check it every 5 minutes. Most messages can wait, but your deep work can't. Your social environment also matters. Who do you spend your time with? Are you surrounded by people who encourage your focus, support your discipline, and respect your time? Or are you constantly pulled into meaningless conversations, drama, and distractions? You become like the people you spend time with. So choose carefully. Protect your focus by protecting your circle. Set boundaries. Have honest conversations. Create sacred time where you're unavailable to the world because you're building something important. Your mental environment is just as critical. What do you feed your mind? Are you consuming content that inspires and educates you, or just endless noise, gossip, and negativity? Be intentional about what you watch, listen to, and read. Curate your digital diet. Follow creators, channels, and mentors who pull you forward. Unfollow anything that leaves you feeling anxious, scattered, or inferior. Also, pay attention to the microenvironments you create throughout your day. For example, how do you start your morning? If you wake up and immediately dive into emails or scroll through social media, your day starts in chaos. But if you begin with silence, prayer, reflection, or movement, you set the tone for presence and focus. Design your mornings with care. Create rituals, not just routines. The same goes for transitions. When you finish one task and start another, don't just jump mindlessly. Take a breath. Stretch. Reset your space. These small transitions help your brain shift gears smoothly and stay engaged. Now here's something powerful. When you design your environment well, you won't have to rely on willpower so much. You won't have to force yourself to stay focused. It will become your natural state. That's the magic of environment design. It turns discipline into default. It removes the friction between you and your goals. Let's say you want to read more. Don't just promise yourself you'll read. Place your book on your pillow so it's the last thing you see before sleeping. Want to drink more water? Keep a bottle on your desk. Want to stop wasting time on your phone? Leave it out of reach. Want to meditate more? Place your cushion where you can't ignore it. Make the right choice, the easy one, and the wrong choice just a little harder. One small change in your environment can create massive results over time. It's not about doing more, it's about setting up your life so that doing the right thing becomes second nature. Imagine walking into your workspace and instantly feeling focused. Imagine starting your day in peace, ending it with clarity, and knowing that your surroundings are aligned with your purpose. That's not luck, that's design. Remember, your environment is either distracting you or directing you. There is no in-between. And if you don't build an environment that serves your vision, you'll spend your life reacting to one that sabotages it. So take control, redesign your space, your tools, your routines, and your inputs. Let everything around you reflect what you're trying to build within you. Because when your environment supports your greatness, greatness becomes inevitable. Chapter 11. Turn intentions into rituals that run your life. Everyone has intentions. We all want to be better, do more, live focused, and grow into our full potential. But intentions without action are like seeds never planted. They hold the promise of a future, but they never become one. That's why most people stay stuck in the cycle of starting strong and fading fast. Not because they lack ambition, but because they haven't turned their intentions into rituals. A ritual is more than a routine. It's a sacred pattern, a meaningful habit performed with presence and purpose. Where a routine is mechanical, a ritual is mindful. It's done with awareness, intention, and heart. And when repeated daily, rituals become the invisible structure that shapes your mindset, your energy, and ultimately, your life. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And your most powerful system is built from rituals. Tiny acts, repeated with discipline, become the framework for transformation. Think about it. Your life today is the result of the rituals you've followed consciously or not. If you want to change your life, don't wait for motivation. Change your rituals. Start with your morning ritual. This is where your day is born. A chaotic morning creates a chaotic day. A grounded morning creates a focused one. Before the world pulls at you, own your first hour. Don't reach for your phone. Reach inward. Sit in silence. Pray. Meditate. Read something that nourishes your soul. Stretch your body. Set your intentions. Even 15 to 30 minutes of mindful practice will rewire your mind for clarity and strength. This isn't just about productivity, it's about sovereignty. It's about starting your day as a creator, not a consumer. Next, install midday reset rituals. In the middle of the day, your focus begins to fade, your energy drops, and distractions creep in. Instead of pushing through on autopilot, pause, breathe, reflect, step away from your screen, walk outside, journal for 5 minutes, ask, am I still aligned with my intention? These tiny resets bring you back to the present. They stop the spiral of reaction. They restore your clarity so you can finish your day strong. Then, end your day with a night ritual. Don't let the world's noise follow you to bed. Before you sleep, take control of your closure. Reflect on your wins. Acknowledge what didn't go as planned. Forgive yourself. Plan your next day with intention. Express gratitude, even for small things. Light a candle. Sit in stillness. Create a signal to your mind. The day is done. I did my best. Now I rest. When your mind sleeps in peace, it wakes up with purpose. But rituals don't only belong at the edges of your day. You can build them into every area of life. Create rituals for focus, maybe lighting a candle, turning off your phone, and putting on calming music before deep work. Create rituals for learning, like reading one chapter of a book every evening. Create rituals for connection, like tech-free dinners, deep conversations once a week, or daily dua, prayer, with your family. Every ritual becomes a thread in the fabric of your best self. What's beautiful about rituals is they remove the burden of choice. You no longer have to ask, should I work now? Should I journal today? You simply follow the path you've carved with intention. The more you walk that path, the more natural it becomes. Soon, the habit becomes identity. You're no longer someone trying to be disciplined, you are a disciplined person. You're not trying to focus, you live with focus. And here's the secret. You don't need dozens of rituals. You just need a few that you perform with commitment, not convenience. Because rituals only work when you show upeven, when you don't feel like it. That's what makes them powerful. They are the evidence of who you are becoming. Too often, people wait to feel ready before they act. But the truth is, rituals make you ready. They condition your body, your mind, and your emotions to align with your goals. You don't have to feel confident to take action through your rituals, and confidence will follow. That's how you build momentum from the inside out. But be careful not to make your rituals rigid. Life will shift. You'll travel, fall ill, or face unexpected changes. Your rituals must be adaptive, not fragile. If you can't do a 30-minute session, do 5 minutes. If you can't write a full page, write 1 sentence. The point is to keep the thread alive. Consistency in presence and not perfection in performance is what matters most. Think of your rituals as anchors. They hold you steady when life gets stormy. They keep you grounded when your mind is scattered. They remind you that even if the world around you is noisy, you have control over your rhythm. In a world obsessed with speed, your rituals bring you back to what's real: stillness, depth, and direction. So ask yourself, what rituals do I want to begin my day with? What do I want to feel before I go to sleep? What small, meaningful acts can I repeat to bring me closer to my vision? You don't need a new life. You need a new rhythm. Let your intentions rise above wishful thinking. Turn them into actions. Turn those actions into rituals. And let those rituals carry you into the life you were always meant to live. Because at the end of the day, greatness isn't built in one big leap. It's built quietly, repeatedly, and intentionally, one ritual at a time. Chapter 12. Break free from the trap of constant busyness. In today's world, being busy is often mistaken for being important. People wear busyness like a badge of honor, boasting about their packed schedules, their endless tasks, and how little time they have. But here's the truth. Being busy doesn't mean you're being effective. Movement is not progress. Activity is not achievement. Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean you're doing what matters. This is one of the most dangerous traps of modern life, the illusion of productivity. You feel good because you're always doing something, but deep inside, there's a quiet frustration because despite all your effort, your life isn't moving in the direction you want. You're tired, stretched thin, and overwhelmed, yet nothing feels deeply meaningful. That's the cost of constant busyness. It drains your energy. It scatters your attention. It keeps you reactive instead of intentional. And worst of all, it distracts you from the few things that could truly change your life. You must understand, you are not here to do everything. You are here to do what matters. And that means breaking free from the addiction to being busy for the sake of being busy. Start by asking yourself, why am I so busy? Is it because of real responsibilities? Or is it because I've said yes to too many things out of fear, guilt, or habit? Often, our schedules aren't full because of purpose. They're full because of poor boundaries. We overcommit. We try to please everyone. We take on tasks we should have delegated or declined. And then we complain that we have no time. You must stop equating worth with how much you do. Your value is not measured by your output. Some of the most powerful people in the world live with immense space in their day. Why? Because they've learned to protect their time. They've realized that clarity comes from less, not more. Their calendars aren't crammed, they're curated. You need to start thinking like that too. If your life feels like a blur of activity, it's time to slow down and zoom out. Ask yourself, what is actually essential? What am I doing out of habit or obligation? What would truly move me closer to the life I want? Then, make a bold move. Start cutting. Eliminate the non-essentials. Cancel commitments that no longer serve you. Step back from activities that consume your time but add no real value. This might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty. People might question you. But remember, you are not responsible for maintaining everyone's comfort at the cost of your peace. There's power in subtraction. Every no you say to busyness is a yes to focus. Every time you choose depth over distraction, you reclaim your energy. And when your schedule starts to breathe, you start to think clearly again. You start to live, not just exist. But don't stop there. Once you've cleared the noise, fill your day with intention. Prioritize what actually matters, not what looks impressive, not what gets you quick praise, but the deep, slow, quiet work that leads to real transformation, whether it's building your business, writing your book, taking care of your health, learning a skill, spending undistracted time with loved ones, or simply being alone with your thoughts. Busyness makes you feel needed, but presence makes you feel alive. And presence can only exist in a life that has space for it. You can't be present when you're rushing. You can't feel peace when you're constantly switching tasks. You can't hear your own intuition when the noise of your calendar drowns it out. One of the greatest shifts you can make in your life is going from asking, "How can I fit more in?" to asking, "What can I remove so I can focus on what truly matters?" Think of it like sculpting. A sculptor doesn't add clay to create art, they remove it. They chip away the excess to reveal the masterpiece hidden underneath. That's what your life is like right now. Beneath all the busy, there is something beautiful waiting to emerge. But you have to clear the excess to find it. This doesn't mean you become lazy or do nothing. It means you become strategic and sacred with your energy. You stop glorifying hustle and start honoring alignment. You start working on fewer things but giving them your full presence. You start measuring success not by how busy you are, but by how aligned and fulfilled you feel. Imagine what your life would look like if you had fewer commitments but gave them deeper attention. Imagine what you could create if your days had more white space. Imagine waking up not to chaos, but to clarity. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you reject the culture of busyness and choose a life of intentional living. So the next time someone asks how you've been, don't rush to say, busy. Say, present, focused, aligned. Because you're not here to do it all. You're here to do what matters and to do it with your whole heart. Chapter 13. Become the architect of your time before life designs it for you. If you don't take control of your time, someone else will. That's not just a saying, it's a reality. Your time is constantly under attack. Emails, messages, meetings, obligations, social media, notifications, unexpected interruptions, every minute of your day is being negotiated by forces outside of you. And if you don't step in and take charge, your life will be shaped by everything but your own vision. That's why you must stop living on default and start living by design. You must become the architect of your time, and no, just someone reacting to the day, but someone creating it with intention, precision, and purpose. Because here's the truth. The life you want won't happen by accident. It will only come from decisions you make, hours you protect, and routines you repeat. Think of time like a building. If you don't draw the blueprint, if you don't decide where each brick should go, if you don't pour the foundation, then the structure will collapse. Or worse, someone else will build something for you that you never asked for. That's what happens when you live without time ownership. Your goals are buried, your energy is divided, and your soul feels disconnected from your schedule. But once you take control, you become the builder of your own hour, everything begins to shift. You stop feeling behind, you stop drowning in distractions, and you begin to feel something rare in this world: clarity. Start with this simple truth. Your calendar is a reflection of your values. Look at how you spend your time. Does it reflect the life you say you want? Or does it reflect a life driven by urgency, guilt, distraction, and external pressure? If you say you value growth, where's the time for learning? If you say you value family, where's the time for undistracted connection? If you say you value health, where's the space for rest, movement, and nourishment? Most people say they don't have time. But more often, it's not a time problem, it's a priority problem. They fill their schedule with everything and leave no room for what really matters. That's not a full life, that's an overstuffed one. A truly rich life is not one where you do the most. It's one where you do the right things, with full attention and zero regret. To become the architect of your time, you must begin to design your day before it begins. Don't let the morning hit you like a wave of chaos. Wake up with a map. Take 10-15 minutes each night or each morning to review your day ahead. Ask, what are my top 1-3 priorities? Where will I work on them? When will I rest? What can I remove? This act alone, planning with intention, can save you hours of wasted energy. You don't need to micromanage every second, but you do need to claim your major blocks of time and assign them to what truly moves your life forward. Then, protect those blocks like your future depends on them, because it does. Treat them like appointments with your highest self. Because every time you say yes to a distraction during those blocks, you say no to the version of you that you're trying to become. Also, design with margin. Don't pack your schedule so tightly that one small delay ruins your whole day. Leave space between tasks. Let your mind breathe. The best creators, leaders, and thinkers don't rush from one thing to another. They give themselves time to transition, reflect, and reset. Build in moments of stillness. Create systems for focus. Use boundaries as your scaffolding. Design rituals to guide your mornings, transitions, and evenings. All of these become the architecture of a high-functioning, soul-aligned life. And remember, a beautiful life is built brick by brick, well-designed hour at a time. When you live by design, you no longer depend on willpower. Your environment, schedule, and mindset all work together to pull you forward. Discipline becomes easier. Focus becomes natural. You stop chasing balance and start building it. Let's be honest. Life will always try to take your time. The world doesn't care about your inner peace or your dreams. It will fill your day with noise if you let it. That's why the work of time mastery is never finished. You must return to it daily, like a craftsman returning to a masterpiece, refining, adjusting, protecting. But as you do this, something incredible happens. You begin to feel powerful again. You no longer see time as your enemy. You stop blaming the clock. You stop saying, "There's not enough time," because now you're the one in control. You make time for what matters. You eliminate what doesn't. You build space for joy, rest, and recovery. You create a life that's not just full but fulfilling. That's the power of becoming the architect of your time. So the next time you find yourself overwhelmed, lost in distraction, or rushing through a day that doesn't feel like your own, pause. Step back, grab the blueprint, and ask yourself, is this the life I designed, or the life I settled for? If it's not what you want, change the plan. You're not stuck. You're not too late. The hours ahead are still yours to design. Chapter 14. Create a life that reflects your highest self, not your loudest distractions. There comes a moment in life where you have to stop and ask, is the life I'm living a reflection of who I truly am, or just a response to everything that distracts me? Most people never pause long enough to ask that question. They are too busy reacting, scrolling, checking, replying, comparing, rushing. Their day is consumed not by intention, but by interruption. They don't choose how they spend their time. They let the loudest voices, the brightest screens, the most urgent demands, and the most frequent notifications decide for them. But here's the truth. You were not born to live reactively. You were not created to exist as a puppet pulled by the strings of technology, pressure, and habit. You were meant to create, to design, to express something higher, quieter, deeper. And if you don't protect that part of you, if you don't consciously build a life around your highest self, then the world will bury it under distractions. Distractions are not always obvious. They don't all look like noise or chaos. Sometimes they show up as busyness, perfectionism, people-pleasing, or chasing validation. They wear disguises that look like productivity, when in fact they're pulling you away from what matters most. To reclaim your life, you must reconnect with your highest self, the part of you that knows what really matters. Not the version of you that's desperate for likes, applause, or approval, but the version of you that craves depth, meaning, peace, and purpose. That version doesn't want more noise, it wants clarity. It doesn't want more multitasking, it wants presence. It doesn't want a packed schedule, it wants time well spent. That part of you is still there, waiting to lead, but it can't speak when everything around you is screaming. So how do you make space for your highest self to lead? You start by creating alignment. Alignment means your actions, choices, and habits reflect your values, your vision, and your soul, not just your fears or pressures. It means you're not just chasing success, but success on your terms. Ask yourself, what do I truly value in this life? What makes me feel most alive, calm, or connected? What would my days look like if they were shaped by my soul instead of my stress? Then compare that to your current reality. Where are you out of sync? Where are you giving too much to things that don't give back? Where are you saying yes to distraction and no to growth? Once you see the gap, you can begin to close it. And this doesn't require some huge transformation overnight. It begins in the small choices. It's in choosing to wake up and sit in silence instead of reaching for your phone. It's in choosing to spend your evening reading something meaningful instead of endlessly scrolling. It's in saying no to people or tasks that pull you away from your purpose. It's in carving out time to do the work you were born to do, even if no one applauds it right now. Every day, the world will give you 100 reasons to abandon yourself. It will flood you with content, opinions, comparisons, and urgency. But you must develop the discipline to say, no, I will not trade my peace for pressure. I will not trade my purpose for popularity. I will not trade my time for noise. Living from your highest self requires strength. It's not the easy path. It means setting boundaries when others expect you to be available. It means staying focused when others are distracted. It means listening to your soul instead of following the crowd. It means choosing the deep, meaningful path over the fast and flashy one. And sometimes that path is lonely. Sometimes it's quiet. But in that quiet, you'll find something precious: yourself. You'll begin to feel grounded again. You'll stop chasing things that leave you empty. You'll stop needing to prove yourself. You'll move with clarity, not confusion. And every part of your life, your work, your relationships, your health, your time will begin to reflect a deeper order. Not chaos, not anxiety, but intentional, soul-aligned living. That's the life you deserve. Not just a life of doing more, but a life of becoming more. More centered, more connected, more conscious. So start building it brick by brick. Build your schedule around your highest values. Build your habits around your deepest purpose. Build your environment to support your peace, not destroy it. Build your time around presence, not pressure. And slowly, you'll notice the shift. You'll no longer be just another person spinning through life, exhausted and overwhelmed. You'll become a person who moves with calm, thinks with clarity, and acts with purpose. Not perfect, but present. Not busy, but aligned. Not just successful, but whole. That is the life your highest self wants for you. Now it's time to stop waiting and start creating it. 15. The discipline of doing less, but doing it exceptionally well. We live in a world addicted to more. More tasks, more goals, more pressure, more notifications, more hustle. We're taught to believe that the busier we are, the more valuable we must be. That the longer our to-do list, the more ambitious we are. That saying yes to everything makes us productive, respected, successful. But let's tell the truth. All that more is costing us something. It's costing us our clarity. It's costing us our energy. It's costing us the very things we started chasing more to find peace, joy, and progress. Here's what most people never learn until it's too late. Success does not come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things extremely well. It comes from focus, not frenzy. From intention, not overwhelm. From mastering the art of doing less, not as a sign of laziness, but as a demonstration of discipline, awareness, and wisdom. Because doing less doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you're conscious. It means you're no longer interested in proving yourself through exhaustion. It means you no longer want your life to feel like a blur of tasks with no soul. It means you want to go deeper into what actually matters and let go of everything else. But that kind of discipline is rare. Because in a world screaming for your attention, it takes great strength to be selective. Let's break this down. Think of your energy like light. When it's scattered in every direction, it barely penetrates. But when it's focused like a laser, it can cut through steel. That's what happens when you stop trying to do everything and start channeling your energy into fewer, better things. But most people are terrified of doing less. Why? Because doing less forces you to choose. And choosing means saying no. It means prioritizing. It means being okay with not pleasing everyone. It means committing to one path and letting go of others. It means facing the fear that you might be missing out, falling behind, or disappointing someone. And yet, that's where your freedom begins. You must understand this. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something essential. Your time and energy are limited. If you don't direct them with clarity, the world will use them for you and leave you burned out and unfulfilled. So what does it look like to do less, but do it exceptionally well? It starts with radical clarity. You must get crystal clear about what actually matters to you, not what looks good, not what everyone else is doing, not what gives you temporary praise, but what aligns with your values, your purpose, and your future. Ask yourself, what are the 3 things that truly move my life forward? What are the tasks that, if done consistently, would change everything? What are the distractions disguised as opportunities? Then, structure your day around those answers. Don't try to squeeze the important things around the edges of your chaos. Flip the model. Put your most important work at the center. Block time for it. Protect that time like your future depends on it, because it does. And don't just block time, bring full presence to it. When you work, be all there. When you rest, be all there. When you connect with someone, be all there. Depth is what creates mastery. Presence is what builds excellence. You can't be exceptional when you're half present, half rushed, half committed. Doing less also means simplifying your commitments. If your calendar is packed with tasks, meetings, and responsibilities that no longer serve you, it's time to declutter. Every few months, take inventory. What can I delegate? What can I delay? What can I delete? It's not selfish to protect your focus. It's essential. Every great thinker, artist, athlete, or leader has one thing in common. They've mastered the discipline of protecting their craft. They don't let the world's chaos interrupt their sacred work. They don't chase everything, they go all in on the few things that matter. And here's the secret. When you do less, but do it better, you actually achieve more. You finish tasks faster. You solve problems with more creativity. You show up with more energy. You build deeper relationships. You leave space for joy. You stop feeling like you're drowning in unfinished tasks and start feeling like the captain of your own time. You wake up with direction. You end the day with satisfaction. Not because you did everything, but because you did what mattered, and you did it well. And yes, there will be resistance. There will be days when you feel guilty for slowing down, when you're tempted to say yes to things you've outgrown, when you wonder if you're doing enough, that's okay. It's part of the process. But don't let guilt push you back into the prison of overcommitting. Remind yourself, doing less is not failure, it's focus. This is the discipline that separates the overwhelmed from the unstoppable, the scattered from the strategic, the burned out from the fulfilled. So today, choose fewer priorities. Say no to the noise. Say yes to mastery. Slow down not to do nothing, but to do what matters beautifully. Trade in the chaos of more for the calm of depth. And remember, you don't need 1,000 steps. You need a few powerful ones taken with clarity, consistency, and heart. The most impactful people are not the busiest. They are the most focused. Be one of them. 16. Master the inner clock, redefining your relationship with time. We often say, I don't have time. But the truth is, we all have the same 24 hours. What we really mean is, I don't feel in control of my time, or my time is being controlled by everything but me. That statement reveals a deeper truth, that time is not just measured by clocks and calendars. It's shaped by your relationship with yourself. You don't just need to manage your schedule. You need to master your inner clock, the way you experience, use, and direct time from within. Because if you don't control your time mentally and emotionally, no planner, app, or routine can truly help you. We live in an age where external time measured in minutes, deadlines, and due dates runs our lives. We rush through mornings, multitask through afternoons, and collapse into our nights. We chase hours like they're running away from us, but we never stop to ask, what is my relationship with time? Do I feel aligned with it or enslaved by it? Most people are ruled by time. They constantly feel like they're behind, that they're late to success, late to goals, late to peace. It creates a low-grade anxiety that hums beneath the surface of their day, always pushing, never letting them rest. This mindset turns time into an enemy, a thing to battle, a thing to conquer. But here's the truth. You will never feel peace chasing something you've never made peace with. Time is not your enemy. It's not your master. It's not here to punish you. Time is a tool, a teacher, a mirror. And when you learn to work with it, not against it, you unlock a completely new level of calm, clarity, and power. So how do you shift that relationship? It begins with presence. Time expands or contracts based on your presence. Have you ever noticed how 5 minutes of true presence with someone you love can feel deeper than 5 hours of distracted time? Or how an hour of focused creative work can feel timeless, while a day of scattered tasks feels like a blur? That's because real time is not just duration, it's depth. And depth only comes through presence. When you slow down enough to be where you are, you start to reclaim your time from within. You stop rushing through life and start experiencing it. The problem is that most people live in mental time travel. Their mind is always somewhere else, replaying the past, anticipating the future, worrying about what hasn't happened or what already did. They're rarely in the moment they're actually in, and so their time becomes fragmented, shallow, and anxious. To master your inner clock, you must begin to train your mind to be here now, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. When you write, when you re-stressed, when you eat, taste every bite, when you're in conversation, listen fully. These aren't small things. They're life-changing shifts. They turn your hours from empty shells into vessels of depth and meaning. Presence also allows you to reconnect with your natural rhythm. The world moves fast, but you don't have to. You are not a machine. You have seasons. You have creative bursts and times of stillness. You have times when you're meant to build and times when you're meant to breathe. Stop trying to cram your soul into someone else's schedule. Honor your pace. Create space for your best work. Build in time for thinking, walking, reflecting. Time mastery doesn't mean you're busy every hour, it means you're aligned with every hour. You don't fill time to feel worthy, you align time to feel alive. This also means letting go of the myth of falling behind. Behind who? Behind what? The pressure to catch up is one of the greatest illusions of modern life. It keeps people running in circles, measuring themselves against timelines that were never meant for them. You are not late, you are not too slow, you are not behind. You are simply out of sync with your inner time when you forget that your journey is yours alone. The tree doesn't bloom in January. The ocean doesn't apologize for its tides. You don't need to move faster, you need to move truer, in alignment with your purpose, your values, your voice. But to do that, you must stop letting others dictate the value of your time. Every time you say yes to something you don't believe, in just to look busy, stay safe, or feel useful, you betray your inner clock. You fall out of sync, and the further you get from your own time rhythm, the more tired, scattered, and disconnected you feel. Take back your authority. You decide what your time is worth. You decide what your hours get invested into. Time is not spent, it's traded. Every hour you give to something meaningless is an hour you never gave to what really matters. So treat time as sacred. Guard it like you would your health, your peace, your dreams. Start small. Block out hours that belong to your highest priorities. Unplug regularly, not just from devices, but from digital pressure. Reflect weekly. Did I use my time as a tool or did I let it use me? Say no to things that steal time without adding meaning. Create time containers, structured blocks where focus and presence are the rule. Most importantly, realign with your purpose. Because when you know why you're here, time takes on new meaning. You stop wasting it because you understand its weight. You stop escaping it because you've found something worth using it for. You stop fearing it because you trust the rhythm of your growth. Mastering time isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about expanding the meaning of your day. It's not about controlling every minute. It's about inhabiting every minute fully. When you live like this, something beautiful happens. Time slows down, not because the clock changes, but because you've changed. You've become present, aware, intentional. And suddenly, your life no longer feels like a race against time. It feels like a partnership with time, a sacred collaboration. You stop surviving hours, and you start shaping them. 17. The life you want is already inside you now. Build around it, not away from it. Most people believe that the life they want is somewhere out there, far away, hidden in the future, buried beneath success, money, recognition, or some major event that hasn't happened yet. They keep chasing, thinking, if they just run faster, do more, achieve harder, then finally they'll feel whole. But the truth is, the life you want isn't far. It's not waiting for you in the next job, the next milestone, the next achievement. It's already inside you. It's quiet, but present. It's been whispering to you all along, not in noise, but in stillness, not in pressure, but in longing, not in doing more, but in becoming more of who you really are. The problem is, we build lives around everything but our inner truth. We build for approval, for status, for expectations we never questioned, for dreams that were handed to us instead of grown from within. And then we wonder why, even when we check all the boxes, we still feel empty. It's because we built away from ourselves, not toward. To stop wasting your time and truly get more done in less time, you must go deeper than strategy. You must reorient your life, not just your schedule, around your inner alignment. You must build from the inside out, not the outside in. Because productivity without purpose is just efficient emptiness. Success without alignment is just well-decorated burnout. And time management without self-awareness is just running faster in the wrong direction. So where do you begin? You start by listening. Not to the world, but to yourself. You slow down long enough to ask, what kind of life do I want to wake up in? What kind of energy do I want to carry through my days? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? What kind of person do I want to be when no one is watching? Let those answers, not trends, pressure, or social comparison, be the foundation of your decisions. Because when you build around your truth, everything starts to feel lighter. Your goals become meaningful, your habits become sustainable, your discipline becomes inspired. You're no longer forcing yourself to stay productive, you're pulled by something deeper. This isn't about throwing away everything and starting over. It's about realigning everything you're already doing with the version of you that's been quietly waiting to lead. That means rethinking your goals. Are you climbing a ladder that's leaned against the wrong wall? Are your ambitions reflections of your soul or projections of what you think others want from you? It's okay to outgrow old dreams. It's okay to change direction. You are not here to live the same year 50 times and call it a life. It means rethinking your environment. Are you surrounded by people who support your growth or people who keep you small? Does your space reflect your clarity or your chaos? You don't need a mansion to feel peace. You need space that reflects your values and shields your focus. It means rethinking your pace. Are you moving fast because it's necessary, because you're scared to slow down and face the questions hiding in the silence? Stillness isn't weakness, it's where your real answers live. It means rethinking your self-worth. You are not your output, you are not your productivity, you are not your ability to stay busy. You are a human being, not a human doing. Your value is not earned through exhaustion, it's revealed through authenticity. When you start to build around your truth, you'll feel resistance internally and externally. The world rewards conformity, not alignment. People may not understand your slower pace, your selective focus, or your unapologetic nose. But that's okay. You're not building your life for them. You're building it for who you were created to become. And once you build from that place, time begins to serve you, not stress you. You'll stop measuring days by how much you did and start measuring them by how aligned you felt. You'll stop chasing the next thing and start deepening the few things that matter. You'll stop feeling guilty for resting and start honoring rest as a form of strategy. You'll stop needing to find yourself in the future because you'll realize you've been here all along. You just needed space. You just needed silence. You just needed permission to stop performing and start returning. Returning to your values. Returning to your priorities. Returning to a rhythm that reflects your real self, not your projected one. So take a breath, slow down, and instead of asking, "What should I do next?" ask, "What part of me have I been ignoring, and how can I begin to build around that?" That question will guide you more powerfully than any productivity hack ever could. It will reconnect you with a deeper intelligence, one that doesn't just want to do more, it wants to live better. Because you were not made to run your life like a factory. You were made to live it like a garden, tended, nourished, grown with care, rooted in what's real, blossoming on your own timeline, free from comparison, full of intention. And when you live this way, you don't just manage your time, you honor it. You don't just squeeze more into your day, you expand the meaning of every hour. You don't just chase success, you embody purpose. So from this moment forward, build a life that reflects the person you already are at your core, not the person the world tries to mold you into. Because the most powerful life, the most focused life, the most fulfilling life is not found. It's built. And it's built from within. You've come this far not just through lessons, but through transformation. Through every chapter, you weren't just reading strategies, you were remembering something, you were returning to something, to a deeper truth that's always been within you. You were never meant to live rushed, reactive, or scattered. You were meant to live with clarity, with discipline, with presence, with purpose. Time is not a clock ticking on the wall. It's the mirror of your priorities. It shows you who you are moment by moment, choice by choice. Every hour you spend is not just about what gets done. It's about who you become in the process. And the truth is, you don't need more time. You need to stop giving your time to things that make you less of yourself. You've learned how to cut the noise and identify your time thieves. Focus on the vital few and drop the pointless many. Say no without guilt and protect your energy like it's sacred. Build systems and rituals that carry you when motivation fails. Master your inner rhythm so the outside world can't control you. Stop performing for approval and start building around your truth. But none of these matter unless you apply them. This is your edge now. The difference between an overwhelmed life and a powerful one is not knowledge, it's execution. Not someday, not when you feel ready, but now. Because the life you want is not waiting for more of your effort, it's waiting for more of your ownership. You are the author. You are the architect. You are the guardian of your time. So reclaim it. Refuse to waste another day living by default. Refuse to let distraction win. Refuse to let time slip through your fingers like it doesn't matter. Because your time is your life, and your life is not a rehearsal. From here forward, live like it. Own your mornings. Protect your focus. Eliminate the noise. Build with intention. Create with discipline. Move with peace. And above all, stay loyal to the person you're becoming. Because the most successful, fulfilled, and powerful people are not the ones who did the most. They're the ones who did what mattered with everything they had. And now, so will you.